moving on to something that's purely self-indulgent. Just purely self-indulgent. My personal history with The Legend of Zelda, because The Legend of Zelda to me, and we'll just start with Ocarina of Time, with my goofy little screenshots I have in my Google Doc. That controller's really bad too, by the way. Just it's really bad to hold. I was into games, sure, and I had a Genesis and whatever, blah blah blah. In 1999, I believe it was, I was at my friend's house, and he's like, "Okay, here's this game. I got stuck in it, but let's play it." And he was in Ocarina of Time, and he was stuck on the Forest Temple, and he loads it up. And you have to understand. I have to move on because I'll talk about Resident Evil all day. I have to understand. For me at that time, my gaming history was like Sonic 2 and Vector Man and Pokemon Snap, maybe Mario Kart, Descent on PC, which is Space Shooter, and Doom. Like very limited. So The Legend of Zelda immediately was like, what the fuck is this? It was my first. I borrowed the game from him. I borrowed it for like a year. I just basically stole it from him. This is my first 3D action adventure game. I didn't know it was like the first for a lot of things before. The first game I played with combat like this. The first game I played with like a story, a cohesive like narrative told in this way. First game I played where you can collect, probably where you can shoot arrows, where you can throw bombs. Like this is the first game for me of like everything about games comes from Ocarina of Time for me. And for that reason, I have very rose-tinted glasses towards it, because how could I not? This is the game that I played that made me realize like games are fucking crazy awesome, and I want to play more of these games. And I still remember getting to the end of the Great Deku Tree, first dungeon, and not knowing what to do for the eye. And my friend happened to be the friend I borrowed it from, happened to be riding his bike outside, and I'm like out on my front lawn, like, hey, what do you do with the eye? And so I shoot the eye. He tells me what to do, because for some reason as a kid I didn't understand. And I go to fight the boss, and it was this feeling of like, you take the controller. Like, no, this is your game. You have to play it. And like, I don't think I'd played a game that had bosses like that before. It's crazy. How much, and to kind of circle back to now, I didn't realize how impactful this game was and how important it was until I played Demon Souls. And I realized through playing Demon Souls, how you play that game, and any of the Souls games, is how I played Ocarina of Time, with this attitude of, I don't know what's around each corner. Now, I can play a game, oh, this is the lava level. Oh, whatever, this is whatever. I know what this is. I know what to do here. Oh, this is enemy, let me just dive right in. But with the Souls game, it brought me back to that feeling I had when I was 9, playing Ocarina of Time and seeing a like and being like, I don't know what that is. And I'm running away. And I hadn't felt that in years, and that's why my favorite series now is all the Souls games over The Legend of Zelda, just barely, and it changes day to day. But that's what Zelda was for me. It was so many firsts. It probably took me months to beat this game, because I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I was wandering around the world. I probably spent an hour just in Hyrule Field running into trees. I mean, discovering all these things, all these firsts, to me, it's so impactful. So naturally, I was hooked on it. And look at it. How could you not? So then it goes to Smash. And I start playing Smash as Link, because Link's the man. Also, look at how far we've come. Pretty far. I remember, oh man, Majora's Mask, there's a few good stories with this. I remember my friend bought it. He got it for his birthday, but he didn't know you needed the expansion pack, so his birthday was ruined. That's funny to me. But I bought it after release. I remember paying $70, $80 for it, which, plus the expansion pack, which you needed to buy. My best memory of Majora's Mask is after you collect all the masks, you go to the moon. Spoilers, I guess. And you can give the masks to these kids. And I think there's 3 sets of challenges. I'm not sure. I haven't done this in years. Probably 15 years. And you do the challenges, right? So it's late at night. I finally collect all the masks. I'm 11 or something. Finally collect all the masks. I go through, and get to the moon. Okay, I got all the masks. I'm gonna get the Fierce Deity mask. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I get to the challenges, and there's the one challenge where you're the Goron rolling and you bounce off these things. And I got stuck there for an hour at least. I couldn't do it. I couldn't understand how to do it. I'm frustrated. I don't want to quit the game because of how the game saves. I'd have to do the other challenges again. It's like now it's like 11, 12 o'clock, and I'm 11 years old. You know, I'm supposed to be going to bed, and I'm trying to beat this stupid game. I finally beat the challenges. I finally get the Fierce Deity mask. And the first thing I do is I go into Majora. I finally see the boss. I never fought the boss before. I was waiting until I got all the masks. I do the transformation. I'm blown away. Like, this is amazing. I can't wait. I decide, I got the mask. I've seen it. I'm going to bed. It's like 1 in the morning. Going to fucking bed. I'm a morning person, so. Plus, I think this might have been a school night, maybe? I don't know. Going to bed. So I save the game. But I get this thing in the back of my head. I'm going to load up the game and see the mask. I just want to load up the game again, see the mask in my inventory. Now, if you've done this, you know that you don't get the Fierce Deity mask unless you beat the game. You have to beat Majora, at least at this time. So I loaded up my save, and after spending hours stuck on the stupid challenges and finally getting it, I didn't have the mask because I didn't beat the game. And I was like, this was like the closest I've been to tears for like the stupidest reason. I had to do the challenges again the next day, and the ironic thing is that fighting Majora with the Fierce Deity mask takes like a minute. All I had to do was spend a minute fighting him, and I would have had the mask. But no, I had to stop and save, and I have to go to sleep because I'm sleepy time. I've never collected the masks again. I've 100%ed Ocarina of Time several times, over and over again. I even do it unintentionally, just as I'm playing the game. I've never gone back and 100% Majora's Mask because of that. Because of that, like, traumatic experience, I just can't. I just can't do it anymore. Love the game, though. For the longest time, I would say Majora's Mask was my favorite. Now, here's the expansion pack. Now, I'm kind of wishy-washy. Then I went to play the Oracle game. Now, this was a summer of my life. I never played 2D Zelda, where I go to Oracle, and these are my favorite 2D Zeldas, because they're actually good. Link to the Past is overrated. Sorry, not sorry. Okay, we're gonna move on. Sorry, not sorry. I like these games. They're really good. Definitely play them. They're on the 3DS. They're a little dated now, but they're so good. They're made by Capcom of all places. Capcom. Who did this? Crazy Capcom. Capcom made this game. They also made Minish Cap. And then I went back. After that, I went back and I played the original. I beat the original. I'm not sure what else I played during that time period. I might have played a little bit of 2. I did not beat The Adventure of Link till much later. And that was with save states, because good God. Then comes Wind Waker, which is probably my favorite Zelda now, or at least for 3D, because of how it changes things up and how it plays. The HD remaster was phenomenal. And this is the problem. Okay, this game came out Wind Waker came out in 2001 or 2002, so I was 11 or 12. And I remember before that, printing off screenshots of the game, because this was early 2000s, and taking them to school and being like, look at this new Zelda game, it's going to be really cool. And my friends, who, FYI, are also 11-ish, oh, I'm not interested in that kiddie Zelda game. Stupid Zelda. We're fucking 11, dude. Just play the goddamn cartoon game. Ridiculous. So that, you can go fuck yourself. And people like it now, which is good. You should have liked it 10 years ago. And the game's phenomenal, but I end up with this collector's edition. I forget how, probably from Nintendo Power, I think. And I played through the games again. And also, I had this, which was the pre-order bonus for pre-ordering Wind Waker. Loved that to pieces. Finally played through Master Quest, which is awesome. Really weird, but awesome. Guess what? I don't have either of those anymore. 2 of the most valuable Zelda pieces that I had. Goodbye. Gone. You moron. And I've seen a gold cart Ocarina of Time, and I didn't have money because I was a kid. These decisions I make in my life. Very unfortunate. The Wind Waker is phenomenal. I think it's not perfect, but I love the sailing. That's part to me. I love the sailing and being on the open ocean and fishing and all this bullshit. It probably has the best vehicle-based combat of any of the Zeldas. You have cannons and you're fighting these giant. It's the one that changed up the most. In the same way that Twilight Princess was very much Ocarina of Time 2, back to Ocarina. This was a departure in a very different direction. And I love it. I mean, those dungeons that were kind of like co-op with a buddy that changed how you do things. Some of the best dungeons, I think. So, overall, the game, you just can't escape its beautiful charm. Beautiful, beautiful charm. And around this time, I played A Link to the Past, which I think is the most overrated one. But that's kind of my fault for playing it after 6 other Zelda games. I don't think it's balanced very well, to be frank, but I was playing it on a Game Boy Advance, so I don't know. It didn't strike me why. Particular example is the Ice Tower, where you can get hit by an enemy that'll do 3 hearts to you if you don't have the right tunic. Then you'll fall down a hole. Then you'll lose another heart because you fell down a hole. Then you'll land on something. It took me like 60 days to get to that stupid. You should have all those games because they're amazing games. And I mean, I was young, right? So I didn't have money, and so I sold a lot of my stuff. A lot of my games I don't have anymore. The late tail end of GameCube era, I started keeping things. But before that, man, I mean, I had that DDR Mario game. I'm like, I don't need this anymore. And it's like, fucking keep that, stupid. But no, I don't. And also, I don't know. I can't collect anymore. I have to collect things I want, not as like a collector. I'm just gonna buy the dumb shit I want, like stupid little plushies, because I can't get hung up on all this other stuff. Because I'm not gonna have it. I'm just not gonna have it. I'll have the game, and that's all I can hope for. I don't even know. It's ridiculous. Minish Cap, it's fine. I think I played Minish Cap on an emulator, and that might be why I don't like it as much. I should really revisit. Of all the games, I need to revisit Minish Cap. And the Mario DDR was cool. Then we get a Twilight Princess, which, as I said, is Ocarina of Time 2. And I liked it at the time, but this was. I bought Xbox and Gears of War. And then the next week, I bought a Wii and Twilight Princess. And Gears of War is an impressive looking game. And Twilight Princess, no. Nowhere near that. Even art style, even Wind Waker on GameCube looks better than Twilight Princess. And I'm not going to say I was hard on this game. It was so much like Ocarina of Time. So much. Too much. That I couldn't. It was like, oh, here, remember this place? I'm like, alright, I can't stand by this. I can't stand by this anymore. It's too much. You're trying too hard. And ironically, that's probably the last good Zelda game we've gotten. Except for Link Between Worlds, which we'll get to. So we got Phantom Hourglass. These DS games, Phantom Hourglass and Spirit Tracks, not very good. Not very good at all. Spirit Tracks has one new item that's interesting and raises the sand, and that's cool. These games aren't very good. These are probably the worst Zelda games, in my opinion. Mainly because of the touch controls. You have to swipe, and ain't nobody got time for that. We get a Skyward Sword, which is very divisive. And Skyward Sword, while having the best controls for bombs, you can throw them underhand, you can throw them overhand, and having the best controls for arrows and all this other shit, has the worst sword fighting controls. I don't care what anyone says. It's not one-to-one, which is fine, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work right. You swipe in this game, so you're sword fighting, right? And so when you're sword fighting, you do swing, swing, because you're not a moron. But the game only registers the first swing. The second swing doesn't get registered because Link was doing a canned slice. And then your sword's spinning all over the... Not to mention the retreading, that you have to go through each area and then collect a bunch of garbage. The game struck me as we have this much content, but we have this much area to put it in. And I like retreading. I like backtracking in like Metroid and all the other Zelda games. This is a world that is not connected at all. Completely separate areas. The overworld is a glorified treasure chest. That's right. You have to collect treasure chests twice. You have to find them. Then they get teleported into the hub world of treasure chests. No thank you. Just give me the treasure. Why are you making me do this busy work? The entire game is Legend of Zelda busy work. And it's a big problem because half of it is good. It is really good. But as a Zelda game, no. There are better Zelda games. Called most of them. Not the DS ones. You shouldn't collect. I can't collect. I collect garbage. See? Toys. You should see how many Pikachus I have. It's a lot. It's frightening. And I lie. As much as I don't necessarily like A Link to the Past that much, it's still good. Still a good game. Still a great game. A Link Between Worlds is really good. I like what it tried to do with the items and doing them out of order. Of all the Zelda games, I hope Zelda Wii U is like A Link Between Worlds in terms of that. And like, you could just go wherever, you know, or actually, that would be the first Zelda. Make it like the first Zelda, where you can go into the last dungeon first if you know what you're doing. Can you do that in the first? It doesn't matter. Do them in out of order, do them in any order. There shouldn't technically be an order. That was what was really cool about the game. You just stumble upon a place like, oh, alright, I'm here now. I know where this dungeon is. I cannot be here, but I know where it is. Such an interesting take on it, and one of the few handheld games that I like. Because the DS ones are garbage. I used to collect things. I don't collect things anymore. What do I collect? Let's see. I say that. I don't collect things anymore. He said, surrounded by 20 amiibo. Okay, well maybe I collect some things. But it's for me. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and bemoan that I don't have a certain item. These items are for me. They're for me putting up. They're not for, I'm gonna sell this in 30 years or like some stupid reason. You gotta collect for you. You can't collect for like some bullshit arbitrary reason that involves someone else. That's all. Then we get to Triforce Hero, which I have not played. And actually, I skipped over a couple games in this. The GameCube Four Swords Adventures is great. Really enjoyed that game. And that's kind of where this comes from. I played the beta for this, or demo, whatever you want to call it. And it's fine, but I don't want to play a Zelda with other people. I don't want to play anything with other people. Except for Resident Evil 6, actually. Funnily enough. You gotta collect for yourself. What the fuck are you doing? Oh, I want this, so everyone else on my left can be jealous. It's a fucking toy. Just play with the toy, man. It's for you. But back to Triforce Heroes. No. I'm gonna get it probably when I find it on sale for $20, and I'll play it, but not that great. Not that great, and dust just went everywhere when I did that. There's so much dust in Arizona, it's ridiculous. I have to clean this table every week. There's a layer of dust. From where? From what? Where's the dust from? Probably from all my hair. That's probably what it is. But for Wii U Zelda, let's close out with that, because I would like to see, it is going to be a big open world. And who knows what it's going to be with the NX. God forbid we understand that. I want new items, or at least items that are the same items but different, in the same way that Wind Waker had the boomerang that you can select multiple things with. Along those lines. I don't want Skyward Sword's burst jar bullshit vacuum. If you're going to put something like that in it, make it have an interesting use. It's the same thing with Twilight Princess's little top, which is cool, but you can't really use it for anything. The Twilight Princess control baton is more interesting and has better uses, I would say. So tell me what you think about Triforce Heroes. So I'd like to see new items. I'd like to see the open world. Do it in any order. I don't necessarily care about the story. I'd like to see it move away from Zelda and Ganon all the time. Particularly because the story in Wind Waker, that's why I like it so much, is different. It's got a lot of stuff going on. And for its kiddie bullshit, it's some cool ass shit in that game. That's way not kiddie. Kiddie, because these are games with like a T for teen at most. I mean, come on, chill out, people. What do you want? I'm chopping off limbs? Come on. But as for other things I'd want for Zelda, I don't know. I just want them to make a good one. Since Twilight Princess, we haven't gotten a Zelda game with actual controls that are normal. Just normal controls is all I want. And even that one I played on Wii. So technically, it's been since Wind Waker since I played a fucking 3D Zelda game with an actual controller. That's why I'm so excited. Oh yeah, I have it right here. Boom. Super excited to finally play this game the way it's meant to be played with a controller. It only took 10 years. Yeah, don't go in hoping for. That's what I fear too. Is like, I like the outfits and I like the cheerleading thing. I think that's funny, but I don't want to. I don't know. I might play it with other people. Who knows? It's just like so. It's so exhausting, and without voice chat, which I don't necessarily bemoan a lot of time. It's just I've used that word a couple times. It's just go send over here, and then you're just like, hey, 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 until the one person goes over there. I don't know. Together is great. I did play the demo that you play a couple levels, and it was fine. It was good, but it felt like an action puzzle game with other people, as opposed to kind of a solitary, almost mystery feeling that I like out of Zelda. I don't know. I'm really picky with my Zelda, man. I want Ocarina of Time. Like if they were to remake one game, screw Ocarina of Time 3D. Actually remake the game. Actually remake it with a new engine, or maybe like a retelling. I always say I'd love to see a game where you play as Sheik during Ocarina of Time, or maybe in some kind of alternate timeline where the timeline where Link doesn't come back, he's just gone and he dies or something. There, and you play as Sheik, and you have all these different abilities that are more acrobatic, like you can climb up walls and shit, and it's like stealthy, a completely different game, but not really. You could totally fit that in to Zelda. There is stealth in Zelda, and I think that'd be a lot of fun. It's the same idea I see of like Linkle. That's why I like Linkle. Change it up, shake it up a little, do something a little different. That's what was so great about Majora's Mask or about Wind Waker. I mean, do something a little different. Don't do Skyward Sword. Don't do it. That's the thing too. Four Swords Adventure was a better idea, I feel like, and more fun to play by yourself or with people. It's upsetting. It's upsetting. That's why I'm gonna wait for it to be $20, and then use a gift card or some shit, because I just can't. I can't justify it. I want to play it. It's the only technically mainline Zelda game I haven't beaten. I haven't played Crossbow Training, and I haven't played Tingle's Rupee bullshit or the CDI games, but none of those count. And I never played the original Four Swords, but that was like a demo on the. No one cares about that. No one cares about that. You don't want that. You don't want that. See, the problem. Skyward Sword's good. It's just not that great, and it's got a lot of problems. There was another problem I forgot to bring up about it. I wrote this thing actually like 4 or 5 years ago. I wrote this like 3,000 word feature for thegamefanatics.com that I still write for them occasionally. This big old long feature about why Skyward Sword isn't a great Zelda game. It's a great game, but as a Zelda game, no. And it's beyond the whole idea of that it's so linear and forced into you. It just doesn't feel right. And sure, it's got a lot of good dungeons, it got a lot of good features and these items, and it controls really well except for the sword fighting. It's just it's almost too long. It's got like too much crap in it. I mean, the world's not interconnected. You basically, every single area of the game, of which there are like, what, 3? You're gonna find all the secrets. There's only one secret bummable wall that you don't need to do. Everything else you're gonna see. There's no incentive to explore because they're gonna go back there and you're gonna find everything because you have to go back there and go the other way. You have to. There are entire areas of Ocarina of Time or of Wind Waker especially, that you don't even need to go to. There's like 7 islands you need to go to out of like 40. That's crazy, but every single square inch of Skyward Sword you have to go to. It makes you. And that's the problem. There's no exploration. There's no sense of that at all. It is just, alright, where do you want me to go today? Okay, I'll go there. That's why I don't like it. Oh, is Demise the giant guy with the weird toes? I didn't like how I had to fight him so many times, but he was fine. And the game has a good ending too. Great ending with the fight with Ganon. Or is it Ganondorf? Does it really matter? Probably not. And it's got a cool story too. It's got a really good story. It's not a bad game. It's not a bad game at all. Bad game. The DS ones. Bad game. Not good. Not very good. That's the thing too. Those are bad Zelda games. Not necessarily bad games. They're bad for Zelda games. Bad games. Bad. How's I got there? Yeah, it holds your hand too much. But then, see, it holds your hand too much, and then it adds in equipment upgrades and customization. I'm like, this is really cool. I love this feature. And then, oh, here's a rupee. Did you forget what it is? Well, here's what it is. Oh my God. Not to mention that the controls are on the screen the entire time, and you have to turn them off so that you don't have a giant Wiimote on the side of your screen. Like, what the hell's going on here? If you're, what? Baffling. Some of the things they do are just really confusing to me. I don't know why they do them, really. And actually, that made me remember the beginning of Wind Waker. I'm not a huge fan of either. On the island, what is it? Where Ganon is, his island, where you start there. I'm not a huge fan of that, but beyond that, it doesn't hold your hand. It lets you go and sail, or it seems like it does. You actually can't. But like with that game, with Twilight Princess, notorious. Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword, notorious for just not letting you do anything. And that's the problem. That was what was so great about Ocarina. The first dungeon is like a 5-second walk away. And you're already in the thick of it, right? The first dungeon in Skyward Sword is like, what, 6 hours later? Ridiculous. It's out of control. Out of control. But I'm enjoying talking about Zelda. For damn sure. Oh jeez, what did I do? I always like this screenshot because it was the end of the trailer, the reveal trailer for it, I believe. I feel like I missed one of the games though. So Larry, tell me what your favorite Zelda game is. Overall, and I'll even let you pick like 2 or 3. Easy going. The good thing about the later games is a heavier focus on storytelling. Yes, yes, I agree 100%. I mean, even starting with Ocarina, bigger story, and then Majora's Mask, kind of a bigger story. Wind Waker, definitely. Twilight Princess, yes. Skyward Sword, yes, yes. You can have these stories without strangling the player into submission. I would hope. I would hope you can, because that's the game I want to play, not this weird whatever the fuck. I haven't even looked at this since I got it. I'm glad they put it inside a little box. What was the game that came with the... I don't remember. Ocarina of Time and Wind Waker. That's the... Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, Ocarina of Time, I don't think you were here for the beginning. Ocarina of Time is my, what got me into gaming, and it was so many firsts. And then going from that to Majora's Mask, and I love Majora's Mask, and then going to Wind Waker. Wind Waker does so many things right. It really does. But beyond the art style, just how it unfolds as a story and letting you explore, and it really does feel like you're on an adventure, particularly with the sailing, because you'll end on Outset. That's Outset or Windfall. You end up on Windfall Island. You're like, I don't know what the hell's going on. And you're Just kind of, well, I'll steal a ride over here, and then we'll get a sale, and it's like a weird misadventure. It's got some of the best dungeons, but they're so good. Like the Zelda dungeons are all really pretty good. I can't think of a Zelda game where I'm like, that dungeon's kind of garbage. Can't think of one. I mean, some of the 2D ones are kind of forgettable, but I mean, I don't know. That might just be me. Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing Twilight Princess without motion controls, just with a controller and in HD. It's gonna look a lot better, for sure. And yes, if you didn't like Wind Waker's art style, you're a crazy person. You're a psycho. I mean, the game came out when did it come out? Came out in 2002? Doesn't matter. I was around 12. And the idea that my fellow 12-year-olds were telling me, oh, this is a kiddie Zelda game, is baffling. Did I say 2012? I meant 2 if I was saying that. Yeah, so it came out in March. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, so around 2002 was when I was on GameFAQs during the whole Zelda bullshit, and everyone's yelling at each other. And we're all children. We're all children yelling about how a game looks childish. The game is beautiful. The game is unbelievably beautiful. It's crazy, and the HD one looks so good. Oh my god, it's like a weird buttery statue. Love it. Ridiculous. I don't understand these people. These weren't real fans. If you're that upset about the art style. Like, I'm a big fan of Diablo and Diablo 2. Big fan. I don't care what art style you make Diablo 3 in or Diablo 4. Just fucking make Diablo. For God's sakes. Just do it. Ridiculous. As long as the art's well put together, that's all I need to worry about. That's all I need to worry about. But I think we're winding down here. Unless you have any weird questions, you want me to do like a weird dance, I'll end the show. Probably won't do the weird dance if you want the dance. Alright, probably not going to do that. Probably going to look at the figure. Looks good. See it? It's pretty good. This will not be opened. This will probably be put over here somewhere. Top of Shovel Knight. There you go. Ouch. Shit. Breaking things. Well, that's good to hear. I mean, I was so in love with Zelda at the time that it could have been any art style. It could have been like stick figures, and I've been all over it. So I was very disheartened to have people be like, this is stupid, blah, blah, blah. And it was a lot of people. It was a lot of people just constantly yelling and complaining about it. I remember I went to there was a demo for it. It was the same demo that came on the limited edition disc thing that you can get. That was the first dungeon, the one on Dragon Roost Island. And I went to GameStop, or EB Games, I think it was, at the time. And I played that demo multiple times every week for weeks and weeks and weeks because I was so excited about it. So excited about getting that game. And the demo was timed, so you couldn't beat the dungeon. And I kept getting further and further. And I'm like, one day I'm going to get to it. So fucking good. I was there. I had links back. This link right here. And yeah, it still kind of makes me a little sad that people were so down on it. I don't know. I mean, it's not like some weird porn thing. It's not an adult game. I don't know why yet. Who cares? Get over it. But yeah, and it also has the best combat, I think, of the series. At least the best sword fighting, to me. At least the best sword fighting. And a good use of items. I mean, so many locations in that game are very iconic to me. Like, every single dungeon location is just this interesting looking place. As opposed to, I mean, even going back to Skyward Sword, just a place that looks like a meadow. Okay, I guess that's cool for a gaming platform. Probably PC. Of what platform I play the most, PC or PS4 or Wii U. Mainly Wii U just because I'm playing a lot of Super Mario Maker right now. If I wasn't, I wouldn't be playing it at all. Well, except for Zelda that came out today. But beyond that, no, beyond that, it's mostly PC because if it's multi-platform, I can get on PC. If it's not like Bloodborne, I'm fucking there, on PS4. But beyond that, yeah, Moonraker's combat with the dodge move that like, yeah, totally awesome, totally awesome. It is the best. It is the best, and that's the thing. Oh, hold on, let me get a drink. That's the thing when people talk about what's your dream studio to make a Zelda game. I'm like, From Software. They basically made a horror Zelda game already with all the Souls games. Just take that formula and make it where you can use little items, make it easier because it's going to be a Zelda game, and just go run loose. It's also a 3D Castlevania game in a way too, which I'm totally down with. Love to see that. Love to see that. Yep. I mean, it's the animation in that, and the way his eyes look around and stuff. The way he like sidles or whatever on little things. It's so good. It's so good. Wait, this little spin, the smoke clouds, even like the way the bombs explode. Come on, get out of here with your other Zelda games. Psh. Actually, playing through a little bit of Majora's Mask 3D, and it's fine. I just can't play a game on a handheld anymore. I just can't get into it. I don't know what. I want it on my TV. I have a big TV. I want the game on my TV. I don't care if it looks like garbage. Just output to my TV, please. That's what I want the NX to be. I want the NX to be, oh, here's a 3DS game card slot. And I'm like, perfect. I can play all these stupid games on my TV now, finally. That's all I want. That's awesome. I keep trying to scroll your Google Doc. That is the coolest fucking thing. I will never not use Google Docs. That is so funny to me. Just like, damn it. I want to scroll this. I should find out a way to do like chat commands to scroll. That'd be funny. Oh man. Scroll. And I like how I didn't even capitalize words. That's how unprepared I was. I was like, oh shit, I forgot to capitalize all the words. Ruh-roh.